Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox. I am your host, James J. As always, with me, Kaliko Yachts.
Adam Cole, baby, got screwed, but we'll go there later.
Always late, never on time for the party. Mitch Mayhem maybe will be joining us, I don't know. And Scooter Dust, who will hopefully join us a little later as well. It is not a great day for wrestling as the other day we lost a living legend. Bullet Bob Armstrong passed away. Such an influential character in pro wrestling. Kaliko, could you maybe give your thoughts on Bullet Bob?
When you think of wrestling families, everyone usually, rightfully so, put the McMahons and, of course, the whole Samoan dynasty, of course.
And the
But
Hawks.
but an underrated group is like the Armstrongs. Like,
Oh, without doubt.
were they like the biggest draws? No, but they were very, very good, like very technically proficient. They were able to showboat when need be, and able to to actually have good, solid matches. And it worked mostly in those territory days because Bullet Bob, of course, and then Scott, and then Jesse James. See, so it could go on and on and on. But to me, it's a horrible loss. Condolences to the family. Um, but as far as their influence and their impact on wrestling, it to me they're in that same bridge with Kamala. Like you really won't know what they actually impacted until you see the tapes, until you get those territory tapes. Because I mean, for historical context, for those in the younger generation, there used to be this thing called territories, and where people actually traveled back and forth, and a lot of people. That's how stuff kept fresh because they could just jump in town, jump out of town, and you don't feel like you're being stuck with stale storylines like you have now with like monopolies as far as wrestling goes. But the Armstrongs were a good stronghold in the southern region with their wrestling. So to me, it's devastating. It's just crazy, man. 2020 just sucks. Can we just get to 2021 already? Because it's just like, yo, just yo, just
January
damn.
cannot come fast enough.
That is true.
And a little late to the party, Scooter Dust.
What? I got no clever line.
What? In the butt? That used to be like a little kid thing.
What in the butt kid?
We're just
Mm-hmm.
now going to last week. New Japan Cup in the USA was last Saturday, and Kenta was the winner. Kaliko, your thoughts on Kenta winning this tournament?
He's the most hated man in New Japan, arguably. And they made the right move.
I mean, I don't think a lot of
I mean,
people expected David Finlay to win.
right. And to me, Kenta already had, and not saying that he has a familiar facial base in the U.S., because, I mean, granted, he never got a big shot, but he was a big stalwart in NXT. Injuries just derailed him. He was there at WrestleMania 31, Andre the Giant Battle Royal. He was at the first NXT show, WrestleMania weekend in San Francisco. So I mean, his face has been out there, so it made sense. And plus, I mean, when it comes to New Japan, he already looked at it an outsider anyway, so it made sense for Kenta to be the man to win it. I mean, he's hated. Maybe that gives him a run at a title. I'm thinking that's another thing we got to figure out. Where does this go? Because is this going to the U.S. title or is it? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Moxley still the champ?
He is, correct.
So that is a very, very interesting dichotomy.
Right.
Considering that the whole point of Mox and AEW anyway, he really can't compete for New Japan in the US. So he would literally have to leave overseas to go drop the title or have a match. Maybe they have him keep the title when he drops the title, but that's a very interesting thing because I feel like that belt has been on hold. It literally has been on hold. And it tells me that Juice Robinson just should have had it. He should have beat him and won the belt. Granted, a bunch of shit kind of happened, like COVID and everything. So, you can't knock that. But, it is what it is. And that's the pizza man. So I will mute myself for 1 second.
I thought it was Mr. McFeely.
So, Kaliko brings up a good point, Scooter. Do you maybe see New Japan and AEW maybe working out a deal where Moxley could have like a maybe one match on American ground against Kenta to possibly drop the title to him?
I mean, considering things are, starting to go back to normal in terms of international travel, if I was AEW, I would probably want to maybe even work with New Japan and build a series of 3 matches around this. You have the first match, nothing on the line, or you make the first match. Wait, no, because Moxley's got both belts. So all right, how could this happen logically? Where
Kenta possibly getting an AEW championship opportunity is what you're going at?
I'm saying both. IWGP United and holy yeah, I'm gonna drop a big spoiler in a little bit. You work out a match between Kenta and Moxley for the first. You can either do like a best 3 matches, or you can do 2, where the outcome of the first match determines which title Moxley is defending.
Ooh, that would be a pretty good concept.
Yeah, like if Kenta loses, he gets a shot at the United States title, and if Kenta wins, he gets a shot at the AEW title. Or you could do a best of 3, or if you do that just initial match between Kenta and Moxley, if Kenta wins, he gets a shot at both of them.
That would make logical sense.
Where you could safely get that belt off Moxley and also get a Kenta Moxley, main event.
Do you think that
I get it. I get where he's coming from.
it seems like there's maybe some bad blood between AEW and New Japan to a degree. Do you think that
That's where the issue.
yeah,
That's the big elephant in the room, especially considering that the board is practically the Young Bucks, Cody and Kenny, and Kenny already has been on the record saying New Japan kind of did him a little dirty at the end. I mean, I could see his point, but that doesn't help. But the saving grace is that they're willing. I think AEW is kind of putting that bullshit to the side. I mean, considering that they got Sheeta going against Thunder Rosa, that's a huge thing. I mean,
oh yeah,
as far as like the women, I mean, granted, AEW's women's division is like
drowning.
sagging, drowning. But the fact that they were willing, and the fact that NWA was willing to let their champion go, it gives a glimmer of hope. To me, I feel like Mox. It's weird because I feel like Mox may want to work in New Japan, but I don't see. I don't see it because to the travel restrictions. So either he goes over there and drops it and come back, or AEW goes, okay, we'll do something, but it's got to be in the States due to travel, and go from there. Because the problem with it is that the United States is not really allowed to be in a lot of countries right now due to their COVID status. So that is like another elephant in the room. So the only thing, if New Japan wants the belt back, they're gonna kind of have to acquiesce to AEW and massage them a little bit, unless they just do what WCW did and just make a whole different title and crown a new champion. So
Well,
it's one of those.
that goes to our next bit of news. Cody lost the TNT Championship to Brodie Lee last Saturday as well, which was an all-out beatdown on Cody and the Nightmare family. That being said, do you think that the Dark Order is finally getting over in AEW? Scooter.
Hold on, there was bit of noise over that. Repeat that, please.
Do you think that Brodie Lee just won the TNT
Yeah.
Championship? Do you think that the Dark Order is finally getting over?
No. Because quite honestly, giving Brodie Lee the TNT Championship is it shouldn't have been Brodie Lee. There are plenty of other AEW talents that could have had it. You didn't need to give it to the guy you got from the WWE. It's a little cliche at this point to take someone from a previous company, give them a title, and say, "Hey, look at all the success they're having here." I'm not even sure if this was a tactical decision. I know the only reason Cody dropped the title is because he's going to film a wrestling series for Stars.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But it didn't. It didn't have to be Brodie Lee. I would have maybe liked to see something where, it was Cody defending against the entire Dark Order. Then maybe, one of the lesser members, like, I don't know, maybe my boys, Alex Reynolds or John Silver, just accidentally happen to end up with the title.
I highly doubt that would even happen in their dreams. But, I digress. So, if not Brodie Lee, you made the assumption that it could have been somebody on their roster. Who would you have picked?
I think possibly it would have been probably a good time to actually put it on MJF.
I disagree with that because he would have been. He's going for the main championship right now.
I understand that, but be honest. Do you really take MJF seriously as a contender, as somebody you could beat Moxley?
Honestly, I kind of do. I mean, one of the only people on their roster that's not before WWE. Yeah.
I mean, this is like, nah. Honestly, if he was going to drop the title, I would have had him drop it to Scorpio. I mean,
that would have been a great thing to do.
To me, that would have made more sense. And as far as MJF, if you really think he's going to beat Mox, you got another. He's just got rated the #1 wrestler in the world, so they ain't gonna fucking let his ass lose. but I see his point. And then to go to did it get the Dark Order over? No, but it got Brodie Lee over. And that's basically what it was, because it was just a beat 'em downs, and now I'm like, damn. You know what I mean?
As in, I'm overseeing Brodie Lee on AEW TV.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
You kind of alluded to it already, Kaliko. Your PWI 500 list came out a couple days ago. And the #1 wrestler ranked in the world today is Jon Moxley. Alright, Kaliko, I know you're hot about this, so get it out.
Alright, so you telling me that this motherfucker is the #1 wrestler in the motherfucking world. AEW didn't start filming shows till about October. I could name 2 matches that Moxley had that you really could say they were memorable, and that was fucking him against Kenny Omega or him against Chris Jericho. Everything else has been like dog shit. He haven't even main evented a match. And Adam Cole, the real #1 wrestler in the world, had a better November than Mox's whole fucking year, and yet they give Mox the #1 spot? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck. This is where I know they ain't taking it seriously, because if they took it to wins and losses seriously, like Adam Cole's November run would have made him the #1 wrestler in the world. He was the hottest wrestler in the fucking world after heading into Survivor Series. And he had 2 fucking defenses at NXT. He had the bro, I'm done with PW. I thought that, bro, like, just damn, like I get they're trying to get AEW some rub, but realistically, like, Adam Cole had like 10 times better matches and more memorable matches than Mox.
Yeah.
And that's just like mind-boggling.
That's true.
Scooter, anything you want to add to that?
No, that's absolutely true.
And I couldn't agree more myself.
Like get your head out of your ass. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, bro, so basically you're telling me Mox during that run was better than Adam Cole versus Pete Dunne Survivor Series, Adam Cole versus Seth Rollins, Adam Cole versus Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream, Adam Cole versus Tommaso Ciampa. You could name 5 matches that was fucking better. Hell, even him versus Pat McAfee was better than fucking goddamn. Boy, it's just, where's my drink? Where's my drink?
Adam Cole versus his wife's health bills.
Exactly. Adam Cole versus healthcare was better than fucking.
I don't know about you, Scooter, but I'm really thinking Hot Calico. And
That just kind of pissed me off though, because that tells me that ain't have shit to do with wrestling.
I mean, yeah.
I was I kind of want to deliver this news while it's fresh in my head, only because we were. And for those of you who did not see it, in a matter of a week, Roman Reigns has officially completed a heel turn.
Wow. So,
why? Because there's somebody in his corner.
Ooh.
He now has an advocate.
Oh, wow.
Paul Heyman? What?
That's right.
Okay,
Paul
that's pretty cool.
Heyman. To close out SmackDown as Adam Pearce, and by the way, the first time Adam Pearce's name was ever mentioned on WWE TV.
Unnamed official one.
Which is a tragedy in and of itself. Adam Pearce was tasked with getting the contract signed for Payback's no-holds-barred triple threat match for the Universal title between Roman Reigns, The Fiend, and Braun Strowman. The last person whose signature he got was Roman Reigns. And then, as Roman Reigns is signing, the camera pulls back to reveal Paul Heyman sitting right next to him and giving him advice.
The seeds were planted on that, though, because fucking... You know, Paul Heyman usually talks shit about everyone, but he never talks shit about Roman.
I think that's a really good connection. That's a really good pairing.
And the question is, does this mean we get a face Brock?
No, I don't see a face turn for Brock.
Now if the WWE can manage to get Roman back to the level where the fans were absolutely despising him. Now, I will admit this is probably the most inopportune time to do it.
If this was actually, on with a live crowd, the fans would, when you turn heel, you turn face, and when you turn face, you turn heel. And I'd see that the people would get behind Roman, honestly.
I mean, with Roman's new attitude of not giving a crap, you can see why Heyman would want, why they would put Heyman in with that, because Roman, that essentially makes Roman Brock.
Essentially, yeah. But I mean, Brock might not be coming for quite a while, so...
Yeah, I don't see Brock coming back, so that means Roman's going to be the guy, but they never really had a top heel on SmackDown, in a sense. I mean, because you can make an argument The Fiend in itself is a face because everyone fucking loves him. AJ Styles, another heel, but everyone kind of sees him as a face because everybody fucking loves him. So it's almost like they're 4 years late on embracing the hate that shit came beforehand. Hey, better late than never, right?
They should have made this turn heel right after WrestleMania 31, honestly. I mean, like the next night.
Yeah, 31 should have been it. But then again, Seth was the guy to run the heel, and it made sense for him to be the heel because he was the chicken shit heel. He was the beatable heel. So I see that point. I think after 33, they should have had him go heel because everybody was already pissed off at his ass for beating the Undertaker.
Yeah. There was a lot of opportunities to turn him heel. But, hey, it's happening now. So let's see where this goes. It's going to be interesting, for sure. Let's start, we'll end the news period here, and now we will start our reviews of last week's shows. We are wrestling with NXT Takeover 30. It took place last Saturday as well. A lot of things happened last Saturday. And your first match out is Finn Balor defeating Timothy Thatcher. Kalika, what's your favorite food?
Squash! 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 Squash!
Anything you'd like to add to that, Scooter?
Wasn't that much of a squash.
I mean, you knew who was going to win.
I feel like the conclusion, if you have a conclusion before the match even rings, it's a fucking squash.
Next up, Damian Priest won the 5-man ladder match for the vacant NXT North American Championship. You went with Bronson Reed, Scooter. What are your thoughts on Priest winning?
Honestly, out of everybody involved in the match, it probably makes more sense for Priest to have the title. He's become upper mid card, and it made the most sense. I almost thought the belt was kind of gonna fall into Bronson Reed's hand.
Kind of like an Otis thing.
Yep. The Otis. We call it the Otis.
But Priest was the right choice. You're not going to have Gargano win it again.
Or Dream, for that matter.
You're certainly not going to have the Velveteen Dream win it. God, I forgot. Who was the other guy in the match now? I can't remember.
Cameron Grimes. That would have been a rocket on his ass. I ain't even going to lie. That would have been a rocket. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I can see that pissing a lot of people off.
That's why it would have been great. It would have been like so Carmella. It would have been so Carmella 2016, like 2016, 2017 Money in the Bank. Everybody would have hated it, and that's why I would have liked it. Because people would be more in tune to watching them lose. I'm more impressed about Damian Priest's post Triple H picture, because that's the first time I seen that motherfucker have to take a picture in the jacuzzi with a bunch of hoes up in there. I mean, not hoes, bunch of ladies up in that thing.
My thing of it is, where did they get a hot tub in Full Sail University?
That's what I'm talking about. Where the hell did they? That's what I'm talking about. And Triple H didn't even jump in the tub. He's just like, yeah, I'm on the outside. Just,
They have an athletic. It's for the athletic teams. It's but probably isn't exactly a hot tub. It's probably like a therapeutic whirlpool.
Well, they certainly treated it as a hot tub that night.
I'm trying to think, did he go in there with his gear? That's a whole bunch of questions there.
He did. He pulled a Jericho.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
I mean, was he making the water bubble himself? like it was
blowing bubbles.
No, or was it was it blessed? I mean, technically, I guess the water is blessed by a priest, so it's holy water.
Oh my God.
That would have been the greatest caption ever. That would have been the greatest caption ever on that picture. Blessed by a priest, jump in this drown yourself in the holy waters.
Well, we're not going to get better than that. Just a quick shout out to Bronson Reed for his Bam Bam Bigelow gear. That was completely and utterly awesome.
I know he called out Mattel and like, yo, let's make me a figurine like that. So I hope so. That was dope.
Yeah.
Another underrated dude, Bam Bam Bigelow.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
Just like, yo.
Next up, Adam Cole defeated Pat McAfee. Surprisingly, this was a really good match. But maybe not so surprisingly to some other people. Your thoughts on the match, Scooter?
I mean, quite honestly, McAfee, and I give McAfee as much flack as and the next guy. He did he brought it, and more importantly, it did not come down. It that I'm glad the ending wasn't such a clusterfuck of a finish, that it was clean. And will say this: if you're going for the Panama Sunrise, you don't naturally get in the position for it to happen.
Yeah.
McAfee just went over and just bent down. Like McAfee didn't even he could have stayed in the position after the move and just worked his way over. Instead, no, he just went over and bent down.
True. That could
Which
be.
it goes to show you the work rate of Adam Cole.
Oh yeah. That's what Kalika was trying to say.
Adam Cole could wrestle the ocean and still remain dry.
Exactly. Like, what the fuck was PWI thinking? And I got beef. Oh my God, don't get me started. But Adam Cole, the right guy, won. We were scared that they were gonna pull that Bam Bam Bigelow shit, and they didn't. Thank God. But that just goes to show you, Adam Cole is for NXT. I will say this: he's on Mount Rushmore for NXT. And it's like four guys that's gonna be there. And Balor's one. Yeah, they're all there next week. Balor,
yep.
Ciampa, Gargano, and fucking Cole. Those are the four dudes. And he's there. And for him to be there not that long and to make that much of a cultural impact on NXT from a branding perspective, it's just fucking phenomenal.
I will say,
get your head out of your ass, PWI. Get your head out of your ass.
I will say this: Pat McAfee, and we'll talk about this later. Dominic Mysterio made his debut. Both of their first matches. I would say Pat McAfee had a better first match in WWE than Dominic did. Just my opinion. That being said, do you want to see another Pat McAfee match in the future, Scooter?
No.
Hell no. Because the only person, there's a reason they put him with Cole. And I get it. They were doing the whole radio shit. But there's only one person. Because Cole's in this space to where he looks like he could kick your ass, but he also looks like he could get his ass kicked. So it's one of those things where it's like he was the right opponent due to like his body size, and he was the right opponent due to his wrestling acumen, and it's just a good blend.
Cole is basically Shawn Michaels from 92 to 95.
Oh, that's a good assessment.
Essentially, yes, totally agree.
Somebody that's not Shawn Michaels from '95. Dakota Kai lost to Io Shirai and Io Shirai retains the NXT Women's Championship. I say this with a heavy heart. What's your favorite food, Kaliko?
I mean, that felt like a squash funeral. That was just a funeral. They took Dakota Kai to the funeral. I was like,
do squashes go 17 minutes?
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it was just a funeral. And don't get me wrong, I love Dakota Kai. Man, she's just got this girl next door thing and da 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 da. And she's a good wrestler. But I mean, when it comes to that division, it's just Io, Rhea, and a bunch of everybody else.
Sounds like a disease. Io, Rhea, and
Io, Rhea, and Io, Rhea, cha cha cha. Io, Rhea, cha cha cha.
Yeah.
Beavis and Butthead, motherfuckers, get it right.
Your thoughts on the match, Scooter?
I mean, yeah, we knew Dakota wasn't gonna come up with it.
Unfortunately. But we can hope.
I mean,
that's a lot of hoping.
I mean, I don't know. I don't logically see where Dakota goes from here unless they like put her on the main brand, push her to the moon, and pull in AJ Lee with her.
Ooh, that would be something. I mean,
well, they were trying to do that with that one girl. Is it Jessica? Not.
Which one?
Jessie. That's who it was. Jessie was the long Islerton girl. Jessie was like the Bailey meets AJ Lee type of person. I don't know if they're doing that with.
Oh, Jessie! Yeah, wow, I forgot about that.
Jessie! Yeah, lanky, long leg Jessie, yes. She was like that mashup. That's a good fucking question. These are the things we need to be solving. Where is Jessie?
You mean Jessica Maya?
Put her face on the milk carton in the Orlando area.
Yeah. Yeah, she had those weird glasses and.
Yeah, she had the glasses and then she was kind of dressed like with the AJ Lee, like set, like the pads and the short shorts and the shoes. She was just like fucking a 7 foot tall AJ Lee. I mean, she's probably like 6'3", but she felt damn near 7.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see anything about her being released. As far as I know, she's still under contract.
Yeah, I know. I've seen. She's probably been in the crowds, in that little NXT crowd or the WWE crowd bubble somewhere. So I mean,
hashtag bring Jessie back.
Although I think she kind of went up under a transformation. I could be wrong, but I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, she's now Jessie Kamea, and now basically another Samoan woman.
Oh.
As it seems like they are pushing her.
Interesting. Alright, and that brings us to our NXT Championship match. Keith Lee lost to Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross is your new NXT champion. But wait, he got injured and had to drop it on Wednesday. Your let's start let's start with the match first. Scooter, your thoughts on the match and the fallout?
It, you know, I'm not sure if this was the best match these two could have had.
No, it certainly wasn't.
Given that Cross, separated his shoulder, and you know, I mean, they could have very easily, you know, changed it on the fly, and but clearly they had plans for Lee, and this was going down no matter what. Um, you know, that's like, is it me or does it seem like it's almost like a curse
How do you
for
mean?
for relatively new talent who get pushed to the moon, and then it's almost like a Madden curse.
It does feel that way. Finn Balor. I mean, Roman Reigns
Uh,
literally got cancer during his Universal title run.
Ciampa and
Ciampa had a little lengthy run before he had to before he dropped it. But I see what you mean.
I mean, honestly, I'm more interested in that match happening next week because they're actually borrowing that match from the promotion I was trained in.
Ooh,
Oh, really?
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be a cinematic match?
No, it's a 60-minute.
It's like a 4-way 60-minute Iron Man match.
Right.
We called it the Master of the Mat Challenge, and it happened every year at our big spring event, and it was 4 people, and we did it in a half hour, and pinfalls were worth 1 point, submissions were worth 2. If you were disqualified, you lost 2.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And there were no countouts. But whoever had the most points at the end won the match. And this is actually a match you can create in 2K19 and 2K20. It's gonna be very interesting to see who comes out on top.
Who do you think's going to win? Right now on the spot.
I'm God. I want to say Cole. I really do, but I have a feeling it's going to be Finn.
What say you, Kaliko?
See, you can make it won't be Ciampa. He just got that. I think it might be Gargano.
Interesting.
And the reason I say this is because of the whole promos they were running with him wanting to fix NXT. So I feel like that can't go. That whole fixing of NXT can't go anywhere unless he's the champ.
Now, with the rumors of Ciampa being part of Retribution,
Ooh, I didn't hear that.
is it possible we see Retribution finally unveil themselves on NXT?
That is an interesting concept.
That could make sense. The only reason I wouldn't think that is because they've been raising hell on the main roster. Unless I'm mistaken, I haven't seen them like fuck up NXT yet.
Because
although
NXT
that could
superstars.
be that could be something they could do. So I'm not ruling it out, but I'm just saying, to my knowledge, I haven't seen them fuck up NXT.
And it would kind of really play to the mythology of Finn Balor's gimmick. And if you remember back in 2016, where he actually explained the origins of his name, and after a Balor, the Demon King, that what if Retribution was not doing this because they wanted to, but because they were being forced to?
That's a bit of a stretch in the rumor and the innuendo realm.
I mean, we worried about who's gonna get the win. I'm trying to figure out who's gonna take the pin. Who's gonna be on the back? Who's gonna be on the back for the most times in those matches?
I'm gonna assume Johnny Gargano. From experience, and
damn, just do him dirty.
That's why I'm going with Ciampa. I think Ciampa should win this match. You can't go with Adam Cole because he just lost that belt. You can't go with. Well, you could go with Johnny Gargano, but honestly, I mean, how many times has Johnny had an opportunity like this and botched it? And who's the other guy in the match? Finn Balor. Finn Balor. You could give it to Balor, but I mean, who's gonna beat him for it? You know what I mean? Like, there's no Samoa Joe coming up, uh, and in NXT to take that belt off him. So Ciampa would make the most sense in my eyes.
See, my worst fear is Adam Cole wins it, and then we're getting a Pat McAfee Adam Cole match for the NXT champion.
God, no.
Nah, that ship sailed, because they could. I mean, technically, you could have just had Keith Lee fucking lose the fucking Cole, and Cole could have just went against McAfee anyway. So it really didn't matter. But I don't know, man. Gargano's speaking to me right now. Spirit animal.
All right. Well,
he's gonna fix NXT.
We'll conclude our NXT coverage for right now. And we are wrestling with WWE SummerSlam. It was last Sunday in the first match out, and we don't usually talk about the kickoff show matches, but I kind of feel like this one was warranted. Apollo Crews defeated MVP to retain the United States Championship in 6 minutes and 37 seconds. This is not a vote of confidence from WWE on Apollo Crews, correct, Scooter?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't say that. It was either this or put the tag title match on the kickoff show again, and I think that um, it was just a matter of timing.
What about you, Kaliko?
The opposite. I mean, they're giving him a chance. I mean, you really thought MVP was gonna win that match?
No, what I mean is, they've been pushing this rivalry to the moon on Monday Night Raws, and then they
Mm-hmm.
just drew him onto the pre-show for the big
But
payoff.
but to me, the beef was always with Lashley, not with MVP. He just threw himself in there
Well,
because it was Lashley. Because Lashley was the one that took him off the shelf allegedly in the first place.
Yeah,
MVP just inserted himself and made himself champ. To which Apollo Crews righted that wrong.
and 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 probably the reason they did it is so they could make the Cruz Lashley match on Payback, which really you can't call it Payback after finding out why they're doing a pay-per-view 1 week after their biggest pay-per-view of the summer. The fact that they wanted to do this pay-per-view to show what the third hour of SummerSlam would have been like. So you could really call it SummerSlam Hour 3.
Oh, I was just gonna say because Payback's a bitch for Bobby, but okay, I'll take that one.
that brings us to our first match on the actual show. Bayley defeated Asuka to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship in 11 minutes and 35 seconds. Then you have the Street Profits defeating Angel Garza and Andrade to retain the Raw Tag Team Championships. No surprise there, correct?
Correct. I mean, we told you.
Right?
Yeah.
No disqualification. Loser leaves town match. Mandy Rose defeated Sonya Deville in 10 minutes and 5 seconds. This was
Pump
a
kick
real
Mania running wild.
this was a real missed opportunity for Sonya and Mandy. I mean, they had an okay match, but I mean, they were riding on the fact that this was a hell-to-hell match, and obviously, timing of circumstances did not dictate that. Correct, Scooter?
Yeah, because you you gotta look professional for court, and since they were seemingly going to do something radical to Sonya's hair, uh, given that they actually called the stipulation off, um, that that yeah, it's just, I mean, but still, all those friggin' pump kicks, man.
Yeah, it was just. Yeah, the match didn't do the storyline justice to me. It just, but then again, a lot of shit kind of happened, and you know,
Do you see them renewing the rivalry once Sonya Deville returns?
nah.
What about you, Scooter?
Yeah,
Alright. Street Fight. Seth Rollins defeated Dominic in 22 minutes and 34 seconds. What was your thoughts on Dominic Mysterio's first ever match in WWE? Scooter.
that damn hood. Like, that damn hood just kept getting in the way. You might as well have been, a superhero cape flying into a airplane turbine.
Yeah, that's kind of
Adjusting the damn
distracting.
thing.
Why do you think he didn't go with the topless look?
I'm not sure I want to answer that. Uh,
I mean, most wrestlers don't wear a shirt when they wrestle. I mean, this isn't getting explicit here.
Yeah, also most WWE wrestlers are not 18 either.
He's 23, I believe.
Oh, is he 23?
He's 23.
Could have fooled me.
Yeah, he looks 18. Shit.
I mean, this was. I don't think at any given point in this match, Miss Dominic looked like he was seriously going to beat Seth.
I agree with that.
He just like there wasn't like there was more believability when he tried to help his father beat Brock.
Yes.
And it just it fell flat. I mean, this is I mean, it's surprising to see nepotism in the WWE when your last name was not McMahon. But Dominic should have. Dominic could have built up his own thing as in NXT, but WWE insisted that he ride his father's coattails.
You think this was a WWE call and not a Dominic / Rey Mysterio call?
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that, Kaliko?
Technically, I get Scooter's point, but the toothpaste was kind of out of the tube when he jumped in at Survivor Series. So I get it. It's kind of like when, CM Punk, once he became pro, it was hard for him to go in MMA. It was hard for him to go back to amateurs. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of already put him in that spot. So I get it in that sense. Seth Rollins, a word that most people don't pick with them, safe. It was actually a safe match for Dominic, and it made sense in the storyline. So, I mean, and they made it a street fight, so where they didn't have to do a bunch, like a wrestling clinic, and the story warranted it because it was kind of, based on what happened with the whole eye thing, it kind of made sense for it to be a street fight because it's not about winning the match, it's just about kicking somebody's ass.
That brings us to our next match. Asuka defeated Sasha Banks to win the Raw Women's Championship in 11 minutes and 31 seconds. Sasha Banks, in her 5 title reigns over 4 years, has never successfully defended a singles championship. Your thoughts, Scooter?
I mean, at this point, it's going to be the thing that replaces the streak.
Yeah, I see that happening. What about you, Kaliko?
It continues. It'll end once Bayley, But I will give Sasha this much: the tag titles, at least she did defend those, so you can give her a couple of kudos, a couple of cool points, not a lot, but like minimal cool points.
Next match, Drew McIntyre defeated Randy Orton to retain the WWE Championship in 20 minutes and 35 seconds. It was probably the best match on the card. What say you, Scooter?
Yeah. The fact that it didn't come down to who had the most power, but who was in fact the smartest. The fact that Randy Orton actually, in the in-ring chess game, he got, checkmated and at his own game.
That's a great way to put it.
As Orton, if you really think about it, Orton really wasn't looking to really win the match in a sense. He was looking to damage Drew, and then if there was time, pin him and win. Orton wasn't focused on winning, and you could see that in the storytelling throughout the match, hence why the WWE did a very risky finish with it ending with a chance counter into a backslide.
And it's kind of like just progressing the story at this point because of, they're wrestling at Payback.
No, they're not.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right. But they are going to have another match down the line. So it is progressing that storyline. This was just the first match in clearly a series.
Yes.
What about you, Kaliko? What was your thoughts on the McIntyre Orton match?
I kind of agree with Scooter in a sense. I feel like Orton was over cocky in a sense in the match. You could tell the way. I mean, he was kind of methodical, but I think towards the end he was kind of over cocky because it's kind of like that knockout artist that's looking for that one shot, and he just spent most of the time looking for that one shot rather than being technically profound. Although I must say, the weirdest part of the match was when Drew won by backslide and Todd Phillips yells, "From out of nowhere!" That is the worst thing ever. And and this is not wrestling related, but it is kind of sad. Just found out Black Panther has died. Chadwick Boseman.
What?
Dies.
What?
43. Yeah.
What? Really?
What? Are you kidding me? No.
Yes. Chadwick Boseman has died.
Oh my god.
Colon cancer.
Oh my god. Really?
Yeah, man.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Wow.
Just like fuck. That hurts. That hurts.
Wow. Okay.
As a Marvel guy. But we know it's a wrestling show, but Jesus, that was just like because I just felt like Black Panther was kind of bigger than like one of the biggest movies in the world. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow. I know, like sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
That came out nowhere. Let's try and get back on track here.
Yeah, we'll get back on track.
Let's
get back on track. But rest in peace,
The Fiend Bray Wyatt defeated Braun Strowman to win the Universal Championship in 11 minutes and 59 seconds, and also saw the return of Roman Reigns as a heel, as we alluded to earlier tonight. Your thoughts on the match, Scooter?
It was a short match. I mean,
I don't think anybody expected this to be a 60-minute Iron Man match.
Like I also didn't think the boards under the ring would be enough to put Strowman down. Like that just seemed like I don't know. It seemed beating him. It was too easy.
That could be a fair assessment. But I mean, you could also maybe say that the Fiend overpowered him in a sense.
That is true.
And what say you, Kaliko?
I agree. The match was short, but it was short because they wanted to give the whole Roman thing. And it made sense for him to come back. Came out of nowhere, as they always. That was the whole theme of the night. From you never saw it coming or some shit like that. But
You'll never see it coming.
yeah, you never see it coming with a backslide. But anywho, Roman coming back, it puts juice back into it. Because as much as people don't want to admit it, whether you like him or love him, he's a guy that draws, and it's a good timing. I'm glad that he feels that his health is at a place to where he feels like he could come back. That's first and foremost. But the match was basically shortened for him to do what he needed to do and show that he is the guy, especially when he was talking shit to the Fiend at the end. Because when he was looking at the Fiend, he's like, "You ain't nobody. You just a freak in a mask." I was like, "Damn!" It's like, "You ain't shit. You just a freak in a mask. Give me this belt." Like, yo, damn, Roman. Like, because usually, he comes back with those whole suffer and succotash shit. So they let him actually talk shit like how he does on the football field at Georgia Tech. I feel like he'll be okay.
Now I'd be remiss not to comment on the Thunderdome audience. Needless to say, it hasn't been going well. As of right now, we had Fire Velveteen Dream on one of the monitors, a picture of Chris Benoit, and excuse me when I say I mean no deep offense by this. I don't want to offend anybody. I'm just reporting the news as it was given to me. Somebody dressed in a KKK robe.
Now the whole KK that looked like somebody was playing a video of a KKK meeting, not a live feed, so to speak. Because it looked there was a, if you look at the photo, it was a group of people. As for the Chris Benoit thing, if you really weren't paying attention, it was that picture of Chris Benoit staring directly at the camera. So if you're not paying attention, it looked like just another fan watching.
Right. We were concerned about, fans whipping it out. And I think this kind of took a really bad turn from just that, right?
Yeah, there's always that 10%, like we always say. Although I'm sorry to interrupt, Scooter, but they did. I guess the moderators are banning motherfuckers, so they are going to find those bitches and ban them. Granted, I mean, it ain't like they're paying for shit.
I mean, they first of all, they need to friggin' announce when registration for Thunderdome friggin' opens, because from what I see, it opens like at midnight, at least Eastern time. Like after a certain show, like I went to try and sign up for Payback, like right after NXT ended, because it was still Raw, up for that. So SmackDown was that, and even at like 2 in the morning my time, the registration for Payback had closed.
Really? Because I got into Payback.
You got in. What time did you register?
It was like 10 a.m. It's a, you know what? Getting into Thunderdome is just like getting Bola tickets. And if you know, and if you're in the LA area, you know what the hell I'm talking about. It's like getting Bola tickets, bro. You feel like you gotta join the Illuminati just to get in. And it's like, God damn, it is fucking hard. Because I've tried like SmackDown, I tried Raw, I tried SummerSlam. And for some odd reason, I just save it to my desktop. And I just click it in every morning around 10 a.m. and I just happen to catch it. It's just, yeah, it's way too like secretive. And for them to have all this dumb shit popping off in the Thunderdome, it shouldn't be shouldn't be that fucking hard.
I mean, my ideal situation is to be on the Thunderdome and do the remix without them catching on.
That would be pretty cool.
Live commentary from the Thunderdome.
Thunder. We will have all that as it progresses. This Thunderdome thing is definitely one of the more interesting things going on in wrestling. And that will conclude our coverage of WWE SummerSlam. And we are wrestling with WWE Payback. Preview. We're running out of time here, guys, so let's get our thoughts in on this card. Universal Championship match: Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns in a no-holds-barred match. Who wins, Scooter?
Well, now with the addition of Paul Heyman in Roman's corner, I have a very odd feeling that they're gonna give the belt to Roman. Also, worth mentioning that we are due at least 2 more Goldberg matches between now and 2022.
Oh God, no! But we are getting them, unfortunately.
Yeah, he spoke about that. Yeah.
And we're gonna get Roman and Goldberg.
You think maybe at this year's WrestleMania?
I think maybe at Survivor Series.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, I bet Survivor Series. Yeah.
Because the next pay-per-view isn't until the end of September. That's Clash of Champions. And then you have Hell in a Cell 3 weeks after that. And it's I'll go with Roman.
What say you, Kaliko?
This was supposed to have been Roman Reigns' reign, pun intended, until COVID hit. So, I mean, they're just going to pick up where they left off. Roman.
All right. Women's Tag Team Championship match: Bayley and Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. This is an interesting one. What say you, Scooter?
Probably Bayley and Sasha. Baszler and Jax will probably explode before the match ends, and one of them will be left alone.
What about you, Kaliko?
I don't see it that clear cut because I've seen where they do these odd man or odd women matchups and then they fuck around and become champions. And I feel like to further that Sasha Bayley, it has to go down that road. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to say it's hard. It is hard. I'm going to go out on a limb. Nia and Shayna accidentally to cause the deeper rift than it already is with Sasha and Bailey. And you see it the next day on Raw. You saw like the difference. So yeah, it's there.
United States Championship match: Apollo Crews versus Bobby Lashley. What say you, Scooter?
Mm, I now with the Hurt Business not banned from ringside, I have a bad feeling about you know Cruz's reign here. Lashley, they threw away Lashley being in the main event scene, back at Extreme Rules. So, but Lashley doesn't benefit from the U.S. title. So, yeah, Cruz.
Oh, interesting. What about you, Kaliko?
It's Cruz to lose. I'm going with Apollo Cruz. I feel like that they have to give him that rub. I feel like Cruz can actually move on once they leave the Hurt Business, because I feel like the Hurt Business's real beef is with trying to break up Ricochet and Cedric Alexander, whatever that
Yeah,
means.
yeah.
But that's why I think it's Cruz.
All right. Randy Orton versus Keith Lee. Before we talk about who wins the match, what was your thoughts on Keith Lee's new ring music and Dio, Scooter?
Well, a lot of fans got pissed,
Including me?
because but what's to stop them from going, "Oh, bask in his glory"? It didn't stop them from going, "I wanna walk with Elias." You know, and that's Seven Nation Army. So why are they why are they pissed?
It's not really. It's kind of like this is a bad comparison. But when Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out, you want to hear the Glass Shadow. You want to hear the da 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 da. It's kind of the same thing. Like every time Keith Lee comes out, I always say, the part where it
But
says Keith Lee, Keith Lee. Like
but
I enjoy that part. So I think other
that that
people too.
that was Keith Lee in NXT though. You gotta be able to differentiate that this is the next phase of his career.
They didn't do it for Finn Balor,
They did it to Big E though.
but that was kind of pre NXT height.
Yeah, but that 5 count was hella over in NXT. So I get your point.
But they also remixed Finn's music when he came up. So
I don't
it
remember.
was yeah, it
They
was
just edited it. They cut it shorter. That's why I got it.
yeah, yeah, they changed a little bit around, and there was no more that delayed, wait at the beginning.
Right.
But this is Keith Lee's time to shine. What better way to drive Randy Orton further into madness than to have Drew cost him in the match and put Lee over.
Sweet.
Because honestly, I see the Hurt Business trying to recruit Keith
Ooh, okay.
as
That makes
Keith's
sense.
first program, have Lee go up against Lashley, have a powerhouse thing. I have no doubt that Keith is going to be probably in the main event picture, in the WWE Championship picture, probably by the end of the year.
That sounds like a good approximation. What say you, Kaliko?
I kind of agree with the assessment, although I think 2021 heading into the Royal Rumble would be a better shot for him. But
Another pizza?
nah, probably my wife. But with Keith Lee, I
Ordered the
mean, his first feud is with Orton. Like, to me, what killed me was like everybody was saying that he's buried already, and I'm like, you can't get more faith than to get called up and your first match is against Randy fucking Orton. It ain't like he got called up and he's fighting R-Truth. No disrespect to R-Truth, but that tells me that they like this guy. This is the same guy that last year beat Roman. Like, hello, we forgot that. Like, seems like we forget this shit. So that tells me that they like his ass. They like his personality. They probably like that he's coachable. And he's a big boy.
One might say he had a better run than Jon Moxley did last year.
No shit. He had a better run than Jon Moxley. God, who hasn't had a better run than Jon Moxley from AEW? But anyways, that's a whole nother subject. But I feel like they're putting him in a position to be one of the top faces on Raw. And they're totally lacking that because Edge is hurt. And right now KO's kind of in the middle, although, because he's a better heel. And, I mean, it's basically a bunch of heels running that show. So he could be that one face that could rise up to the top.
Next match, Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio versus Seth Rollins and Murphy, who wins Scooter.
Probably this is the one where, the Mysterio twins, I'm sorry, father and son, win.
Finally. What about you, Kaliko?
I see it. I see where he's coming from, but Rollins been on a roll. But I could see Murphy taking the pin. So yeah, they gotta get Payback at some point, right?
I mean, it's the name of the pay-per-view.
Pun intended.
Yeah. King Corbin versus Matt Riddle. Scooter, who wins?
Bro. Riddle. I gotta mention something really quickly here. I mentioned we're due more Goldberg. Bray Wyatt just put out a tweet to Goldberg saying, "Don't worry, old friend. We fixed it. Don't listen to what they say. You and I know they're wrong. I forgive you. But please, if you see the red, walk away from it."
Interesting. And what say you, Kaliko?
Riddle. Come on, man. Riddle.
Well, whoever
hasn't been kind. 2020 has not been kind to Corbin match-wise.
Neither 2019 or 2018.
Well, whoever.
I mean, he was King of the Ring. Give him that. But
King of the Ring's like a curse at this point. But whoever wins this match, us as fans lose. And before we end this segment, Payback is tomorrow, which is Sunday. How should people listen to Payback, Scooter?
And you should listen on the WWE Network, because I ain't doing shit. No, listen to the remix only on UMB Sports 2 and Mixler. The link will be going out eventually when I feel like it.
Alright, and I will definitely be there. And Mitch Mayhem, hallelujah, got the WWE Network last week.
Yeah.
He was on the call.
Oh. Well, if he remembers to show up.
I will be in the Thunderdome, so look out for me.
Yeah. We'll all be there in some way or form.
Interested to see how it looks, though.
Yeah.
I'm definitely interested.
Hey, maybe you could maybe you could jump on the remix and give us a first-hand look on what's up
Well,
Oh, that might be. I might jump in as the mole, baby. There we go. We got a plan. I'm the
just
mole.
just make sure because somebody was banned for wearing a Dean Ambrose shirt.
Yeah.
Wait,
That's
a
weird.
John Moxley
And it
shirt or Dean Ambrose?
a Dean Ambrose.
Their shirt.
Okay, that's stupid.
I get it because he works with AEW now. I get it, but I don't get it.
Well,
So,
what's even worse is that they kicked off a fan for chanting Big E when the WWE thought they were chanting something else.
probably Brodie Lee
No,
or big titties. I don't know.
no, no. It's a 6-letter word.
Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. No, I'm just guessing at this point.
It's a racial slur.
Oh, okay.
Alright, that will conclude our coverage of Payback. Next week we will have the review of that show, including the review of the Jinku Stadium. So that was earlier today. For now, please like, subscribe, comment both on YouTube and Castbox. And if you want to join the conversation, you could follow all of us on Twitter. You could find me at JamesJ993. Where can they find Kaliko?
You might find me at I Am Kaliko watching Black Panther on DVD, man. It's just like, you know what? Just 2020, just go. I mean, the only thing I like about 2020 is the fact that I graduated college, but everything else has kind of been like, at what expense did I fucking pay? What did I pay for? God damn it, man.
You could ask, what did it cost you, Kaliko?
Everything. Everything. It costed me Kobe, it cost me Black Panther, it cost me Kamala, it cost me just Jesus.
No, that was 2024 years ago.
And where can they find Scooter Dust?
You can find me on Twitter at Scooter Dust and at UNBS Wrestling. Find me on Instagram at The Real Scooter Dust. Don't follow me in real life. Subscribe if you haven't subscribbled. And I'll catch you in the next one.
And if you want to tweet our other co-host that did not join us tonight, Mitch Mayhem, don't fucking DM him. But I digress. For my co-host, Kaliko Yachts, Mitch Mayhem, Scooter Dust, I'm James J. And this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Like Scooter, here it is in a nutshell.